This One's Wife, Christmas Isolation. According to the radio, warmer weather's on the way. The chances are we won't be getting snow. But even if the sun shines from now to Christmas Day, as far as I'm concerned, I know it's gonna be a cold, cold Christmas without you. Yes, some of you may recognize Dana's hit from the mid-70s there, Cold, Cold Christmas. And it looks like that it was going to be a cold, cold Christmas for This One's Wife. Why might that be so? Well, I'll get to that in a moment. But what is interesting, of course, is Christmas is on the horizon. Probably your local stores have already started to stock mince pies and baubles and selection boxes and stockings and so forth. Your local garden centre may well have already put up its display of Christmas trees, etc., etc. And children start to get that first tingle of excitement that Santa Claus is going to be coming in the near future. Christmas, of course, is an apt opportunity for the narcissist to cause all manner of shithousery. Making it all about us, not making it about you. In the golden period, delivering a Christmas beyond compare, one that will live long in the memory, and particularly as subsequent Christmases are likely to be filled with pissing in the fire, throwing the Christmas pudding through a window, buying you unsuitable gifts, turning up arsehole, all manner of shenanigans. And I'll be detailing more of that as we get closer to Christmas itself. But already, the question of Christmas plans may well be entering people's minds. Who do we invite? Where do we go? Is it your family or my family that we spend Christmas with? Or perhaps neither? Do we go away somewhere? Do we have a quiet Christmas, just the two of us? Or it might be the case that you can't stand Christmas, bah, humbug, and you don't want anything to do with it. But it would appear that according to the Daily Mirror, Prince Harry and This One's Wife's Christmas plans revealed. And apparently, it's sad news for Charles. Jennifer Newton writes, Prince Harry and This One's Wife are unlikely to enjoy a royal Christmas this year, with their children set to miss a big gesture, an expert has claimed. Reports have suggested that Harry is keen to have a base in the United Kingdom. Now he and This One's Wife, no longer have use of Frogmore Cottage on the Windsor estate after being forced to hand back the keys. It has been rumoured that Harry could opt for a private property he would purchase himself, rather than rely on a place from his estranged father, King Charles. But one royal expert and historian, Dr. Tessa Dunlop, believes any home purchase in the United Kingdom or return to the country for the Sussexes will be very unlikely. And with Christmas fast approaching, it will also mean that Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet will miss out on one thing. Tessa told the Mirror, Christmas is coming, and we want This One's Wife and Harry to inject the Windsor brand with a bit of transatlantic tension. But don't hold your breath. Just as Harry was a no-show at Balmoral this summer, it is unlikely that he'll grace Sandringham with his presence. Far from buying a penthouse near London, it doesn't even look like King Charles will get a Christmas cuddle with those absent grandchildren. Naturally, as I've explained in recent videos, This One's Wife's narcissism causes her to stay away from the United Kingdom because it's basically viewed as a hostile environment, a hostile populace, a hostile press, and of course an extended family that have been painted black. Therefore, her narcissism sees it as too difficult to control and decides nothing to be gained by going, stay away, assert control by remaining in a position of withdrawal. Some people would think, well, that's terrible. You've got two small children who've barely spent any time with their grandparents, with their uncles and aunts, and seen their cousins. Surely, it's Christmas time. You could make a trip and go over and bring the whole family together. But remember, this one's wife has no emotional empathy, and therefore, although she might have the cognitive empathy to understand that ought to be done, she doesn't feel a need to do it. And ultimately, even if she does recognise that that might be seen as the right thing to do, she won't do it because her narcissism sees there being too great a threat to control in going to the United Kingdom, and thus her children have to miss out. I'm sure that some of you have situations where you've perhaps got somebody in your extended family, maybe a creepy uncle or an overbearing mother-in-law, whatever it might be, that you'd rather not spend time with. But you do so for the sake of your children, because it's Christmas time, and Christmas is meant to be about children. And you think, well, I'm not going to spoil matters so that other people can't see the children just because I don't want to see the mother-in-law or my father or whoever it might be. I'm going to be an adult. I'm going to suck it up for the sake of my children. So I will turn the other cheek to any provocations. I'm not going to cause the rest of the family to be punished just because I don't like one member of the family. And that is an individual that is exhibiting emotional empathy for his or her children and for other members of the family, that just because there's one person they don't get on with, they're not going to let that difficulty spoil relations for everybody else. But a narcissist doesn't give a rat's ass in that regard. The needs of the narcissist must come first. And if that means that your children don't get to see granddad, don't get to see the cousins, don't get to see aunts and uncles, tough titty. Her needs come first, and her narcissism rationalizes it in the sense of, well, I'm not the one that caused this problem in the first place. If they apologize to me for the way that they've treated me and my husband, then I might consider going over. Basically, the nullification of the threat to control as a consequence of them apologizing. And in them so doing, this then enables them to go. Because the narcissism sees, the threat to the control that's posed by that family has been removed because they've apologized. They've shown that they're under control. Okay, that makes this a different matter. We can ignore the press. We don't have to deal with any of the scum, i.e. the people. Accordingly, we will go. But it's unlikely that such an apology will come forth. And of course, this one's wife is not going to do anything that would be to the benefit of her children if it's contrary to her needs vis-a-vis the prime aims. Harry, of course, has only made fleeting visits back to the United Kingdom, and this one's wife hasn't been there since the Queen's funeral. Many people think, well, it's outrageous that she has isolated the children in this way, but it's not a surprise for the behaviour of a narcissist. And as a consequence, at Christmas, the Sussexes are likely to be isolated once again. Just the two of them and maybe a couple of paid friends. But no big family gathering. And all because the isolating nature of this one's wife's narcissism must prevail. And Harry is too under her control and governed by his emotional thinking to actually do anything about it. He won't man up to insist that they all travel. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.